equal to K times I2 and V is equal to V by K. Okay. So it is Z is by K square, R by K square, X by K square, IK and V by K. And now there is the primary impedance. Now what is the total impedance of the primary? Total impedance of the primary is R01 plus JX01. And what is R01? R01 is R1 plus R2 dash. R1 plus R2 dash becomes R01 and X1 plus X2 dash becomes X01. So the total primary impedance is R01 plus JX01. So Z01 is R01 plus JX01. So this is the completed diagram. Here already you know that this is I1. And what is I1? I1 is equal to I0 plus K I2, or you can write it as I0 plus I2 dash. So I2 dash is the current that is circulating, where I2 dash is equal to K times I2. And here I0 splits into the shunt branch and becomes IW and IM. IM passes through X0 and IW passes through R0. So it is I0 plus I2 dash split current into shunt branch and series branch. So you have to always remember that the no load current I0 is the shunt branch current. Okay. And I2 dash is the series current which passes through the resistance and the reactance and also through the load. So this is it. So I am simplifying this again as R1 plus R2 dash becomes equal to R01 and X1 plus X2 dash becomes equal to X01 and R01 plus J X01 equals Z01. Okay. And this is Z by K square, V divided by K and IK. Okay. So this is a simple diagram. Here I0 part there is no difference. The shunt part always repeats the same. So I0 is equal to IW plus IM, R0 and X0, and then there is V1, and this terminal voltage outside here is called V2. Okay, and already V2 is there, which is V2 dash, which is equal to V2 divided by K, because we have referred every element in the secondary towards the primary. So this was the equivalent circuit. This was the equivalent circuit referred to primary. Now we are going to draw the equivalent circuit referred to secondary. So when we are referring it with respect to the secondary, all the secondary elements remain the same. Which are the secondary elements? The R2, X2, I2, V2 and Z will remain the same, because these were the elements which were actually in the secondary. Now we will have to refer all other elements from the primary towards the secondary. So there is R1 dash. What is R1 dash? R1 dash and see, the impedance is actually here K square. It is K square times. So what is R1 dash? R1 dash is K square R1. So where is R1 dash? R1 dash is K square R1. What is X1 dash? X1 dash is K square X1. Because Z1 dash is equal to Z1 K square Z1. And then we will have to refer the currents. So current becomes by K and voltage becomes into K. Okay. So this I0 dash is actually I0 by K. IW dash is actually IW by K. IM dash is actually IM divided by K. And here there is R0 dash and X0 dash. What is R0 dash? R0 dash is K square R0 and X0 dash is K square X0. So V becomes K times and I becomes divided by K. And here what is the total impedance of the secondary? It is R2 plus R2 dash, isn't it? This is R2 plus R2 dash, not R2 dash, it is R1 dash. Okay, R2 plus R1 dash, and then there is X2 plus X1 dash. X2 plus X1 dash. So R2 plus R1 dash becomes equal to R02 and the X2 plus X1 dash becomes equal to X02. So X2 plus X1 dash becomes equal to X02 and R2 plus R1 dash becomes equal to R02. R02 plus JX02 is our Z02. Okay, R02 plus JX02 is our Z02. So this is the equivalent circuit of the transformer referred to secondary. And this is it. R2 plus R1 dash becomes equal to R02 and X2 plus X1 dash becomes equal to X02. And R02 plus JX02 is equal to Z02, and Z02 the absolute value is R02 square plus X02 square. So this is the magnitude of Z02. Now we are going into the topic called voltage regulation. Voltage regulation is actually the initial portion of transformer testing. Because when you are testing the machine, you are actually testing the machine for two valuable parameters called efficiency and voltage regulation. And these two parameters, the first parameter is what? The first parameter is efficiency and the second parameter is voltage regulation. These two parameters are the most important parameters as far as a transformer is concerned. So efficiency calculations are really important and voltage regulation calculations are also extremely important with respect to a transformer. So we are first starting with what is called as an voltage regulation. Okay, so the voltage regulation of a transformer is the arithmetic difference between no load secondary voltage. So we already know that there is a secondary voltage and the secondary voltage is called V2, and it is the arithmetic difference between no load secondary voltage. It is this representation, the no load secondary voltage, because it is 0 V2 indicates that it is V2 at no load, and the secondary voltage V2 which is loaded on load expressed as a percentage of no load voltage. So what is our voltage regulation? Our voltage regulation is no load secondary voltage minus full load secondary voltage divided by no load secondary voltage into 100. And what is 0 V2? 0 V2 is no load secondary voltage, and what is V2? V2 is the secondary voltage on load. So this is very important. This is what is called the percentage voltage regulation of a transformer. What is the percentage voltage regulation? Percentage voltage regulation is 0 V2 minus V2 divided by 0 V2 into 100 percentage. Okay, and the numerator, which is 0 V2 minus V2, can be expressed as I2 R02 cos phi 2 plus or minus I2 X02 sin phi 2. This expression I will teach you how this expression is coming. So you don't bother about by hearting this equation right now. There is no need to by heart anything. Okay, you will understand how this equation is coming, and once you understand how this equation is coming, then there will not be any need for you to by heart this equation. So right now you just write this equation and I will show you how this equation is coming. So the numerator 0 V2 minus V2 is actually the result of this equation, which is I2 R02 cos phi 2 plus or minus I2 X02 sin phi 2, where the positive sign is for lagging power factor, because the lagging power factor is actually the conventional positive. So when you have a lag, you have to take it as a positive, and lead is not a normal condition, so we take the lead to be negative. So always you assume the leading power factor to be negative and lagging power factor to be positive. So we assume a positive sign for lagging power factor and the negative sign is normally given for leading power factor. It may be noted that percentage voltage regulation of the transformer will be the same whether primary or secondary side is considered, because I already told you that for a transformer there is no big difference between what is called primary and secondary. It is only for the namesake that we are naming it as primary and secondary. So a transformer is a reversible machine. So that means a primary can become a secondary can also become a primary. So we are only assuming that the part of the transformer, the winding of the transformer where we are giving the input AC supply is what is called the primary. Okay, so if we are giving the AC supply at the other side will become the primary. So reversibly, a transformer can be used as a step-up transformer or a step-down transformer, because a transformer which is step-up unilaterally, on the other side it will become step-down transformer. Now we are going to discuss transformer test. So there are actually three kinds of transformer tests that I am going to deal in electrical machines chapter transformer, and these tests are actually not a load test, these are actually partial load test. Okay, so the first two kinds of tests are open circuit test and the short circuit test, and the third test that we will be dealing is called Sumner's test or back-to-back test. So the circuit constants, efficiency and voltage regulation. So we have considered what is voltage regulation. What is efficiency we will consider a bit later. Okay, after going into the test we will go into equations and conditions of efficiency. So the circuit constants, efficiency and voltage regulation of a transformer can be determined by two simple tests. These two tests, open circuit test and short circuit test, it comes in pair. So we will first discuss about open circuit test and short circuit test, and then we will go into the third test called the Sumner's test or back-to-back test. So we are going to do open circuit test and short circuit test to determine the circuit constants. Circuit constants means our equivalent circuit constants. You know what is the equivalent circuit of the transformer now. There is the shunt branch parameters of the equivalent circuit and the series branch parameters of the equivalent circuit. Okay. So efficiency is going to be determined and also voltage regulation is going to be determined. Now the voltage circuit test will give us the shunt branch parameters of the equivalent circuit, and the short circuit test will give us the series branch parameters of the equivalent circuit. So you have to remember, open circuit test will give us the shunt branch parameters of the equivalent circuit, and the short circuit test will give us the series branch parameters of the equivalent circuit. And what do you mean by the shunt branch parameters? The shunt branch parameter starts with I0, and I0 splits into IM and IW, and it goes through R0 and X0. So we will have to determine the values of all that. And the series branch parameters are R1, X1, R2, X2. More accurately, if I say, it becomes R01 and X01, or R02 and X02 including the load. So that will be determined with a short circuit test. Now we are going to move into the test. First we are going to consider open circuit test. And this is the literature with respect to open circuit test. First we will read this, and then we will go into the diagram of the test, the connection diagram of the circuit diagram of the open circuit test. Now the test is considered to determine iron loss or core loss. Okay. So what is the purpose of the open circuit test? Open circuit test gives you the no load losses. No load losses means it gives you the fixed losses which are called iron losses or core losses, and you already know that core losses are the sum of the hysteresis loss. It is actually the sum of the hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. So it is PH plus PE. It is the loss due to hysteresis and the loss due to eddy current, or we can say that it is the magnetization losses in the core. And parameters R0 and X0 of the transformer. And what is R0 and X0? R0 and X0 are the shunt branch parameters of the equivalent circuit. So in this test, we apply rated voltage. Very important. We apply rated voltage, because in short circuit test, we will apply rated current. Okay. So you have to remember, in open circuit test, we are applying rated voltage, and in short circuit test, we will apply rated current. So in this test, the rated voltage is applied to the primary. We cannot say primary or secondary. We will consider it as LV or HV. Okay. So here at this point, I will ask you a question. See, we have an LV winding. LV winding is called the low voltage winding. And then there is another winding called the HV winding. We don't care which one is the primary or the secondary. But anyway, if it is a step-up transformer, it must have one secondary winding greater than primary number of turns. So that means N2 will be greater than N1. So N2 will be the high voltage winding and N1 will be the low voltage winding. Anyway, if it is a step-down transformer, then our primary N1 will be greater than the secondary N2. So then N1 will be a high voltage winding and N2 will be a low voltage winding, because we are stepping down the voltage. So we can either step up the voltage or we can step down the voltage. Anyway, one winding has to be the low voltage winding and the other winding has to be the high voltage winding. And we already know that what happens when voltage increases, when voltage is increased, the current is decreased. And when voltage is decreased, what happens is current increases. So high voltage winding means it is increase in voltage. Increase in voltage means there is decrease in current. Low voltage winding means it is decrease in voltage, that means increase of current. And tell me which winding, whether it is LV or HV, which will have the thicker conductors. You see, the diameter of the conductor or the thickness of the conductor depends upon the current carrying ability of the conductor. Okay, so if your current carried is very low, then you can go for a conductor which is smallest in diameter, because you can go for small diameter conductors. But when your current carried is higher, you will see that if the power plug, the size of the power plug is bigger, if in a lab you go, if the machine is having a higher rating machine, then you will have to go for higher, thicker conductors or conductors with a larger diameter. So the conductor diameter will be low for a high voltage winding. Okay, so the thickness will be low for a high voltage winding and the conductor thickness will be high for a low voltage winding. So then here I am going to ask you the condition of short circuit. What is the condition of short circuit? Short circuit means current tends to infinity, isn't it? Current tends to infinity. So when you are short circuiting a winding, your current tends to infinity. It is actually physically not possible tending to infinity but the current will tend to maximum. Let us assume that the current tends to maximum. And if your current is tending to maximum, which of the windings will you short circuit? Which of the windings will you short circuit? The current tends to maximum. Current is tending to maximum means if you are going to short circuit a high voltage winding, your conductors are of smaller cross section and your winding is going to be burned out because the conductors are not having enough area of cross section to carry the maximum current that is created due to short circuit. So which of the sides will be short circuited? We will have to short circuit the LV side, because in LV side, since the voltage is less, the current will be automatically higher. The current in the LV windings will be higher. So the current in the LV windings will be automatically higher means the LV winding will be designed to carry larger value of current. So when the LV winding is able to carry larger value of current, you can inject an instantaneous value of higher value of current. Because you see here we are having thinner number of thinner winding and here we are having thicker winding. So the side which has thicker winding is to be short circuited. Okay, so that means in a short circuit test you will be short circuiting your LV winding. Okay, because you can apply a short circuit only on an LV winding because the LV winding will be having the thickness which will be able to hold the value of current that is going to flow when the side is short circuited. So the LV side will be short circuited, and if the LV side is short circuited, which side will be open circuited? The HV side will be open circuited. So you have to always remember that in an open circuit test, an open circuit test is done on the HV side and a short circuit test is always done on the LV side. So that means in an open circuit test, it is the HV winding that is open circuited, and in a short circuit test, it is the LV winding that is short circuited. So this is one of the questions which is repeated over and over again. So there is a chance that for our exam also this question can come. So you don't go with the primary or the secondary. Usually, it is always the low voltage winding is short circuited, because if you are going to short circuit your high voltage winding, it will not be able to carry the short circuit current. High voltage winding, it will not be able to carry the short circuit current and it will burn out. Okay, so in this test the rated voltage is applied in the primary, and which of the winding is left open circuited? The HV winding is left open circuited. The rated voltage will be applied in the primary and the HV side. So that means rated voltage will be applied to the LV and then HV side will be open circuited. Okay, so what happens is that in this test the rated voltage is applied to the low voltage winding and then the HV side is open circuited. And when we go into short circuit test, we will apply the rated current to the HV winding and then the LV windings will be short circuited. So you have to remember this. So I will have to make you remember this with respect to short circuit. You have to remember this with respect to short circuit. Okay. So when short circuit is happening, larger current will be flowing. Which winding will be capable of carrying larger current? The LV winding only will be capable of carrying larger current, because the HV winding is having a higher number of turns with the thinner conductors and LV winding is having lower number of turns with the thicker conductors. So LV winding only will be capable of holding the short circuit current. So we will be short circuiting the LV side, and if LV side is short circuited, the rated voltage will be applied on the HV side. the rated current will be applied on the HV side on short circuit test, and if LV winding is short circuited in short circuit test, HV winding is open circuited in open circuit test, and the rated voltage is applied on the low voltage winding. So here the LV winding is applied with the rated voltage and HV winding is kept open circuited, and the applied primary voltage V1 is measured with an voltmeter. The no load current I0 is measured with an ammeter, and the input power W0 is measured by a wattmeter. This normally happens in every experiment. Okay, so you will have a series ammeter, you will have a shunt voltmeter, and then you will have a wattmeter connected to measure the no load input power. As normal rated voltage is applied to the primary, the normal iron loss will occur in the transformer core. Hence, wattmeter will record the iron losses and a small amount of copper loss, but this copper loss is actually 2 to 10% of the rated full load copper loss, and then the no load current will be very small, 2 to 10% of the total load current. So copper losses in the primary winding under no load condition are negligible compared with the iron losses. So we will take the wattmeter reading practically as the iron losses of the transformer. So here the copper losses will be negligible compared to the full load copper loss of the machine. Here iron losses will be more predominant compared to copper losses. So in an open circuit test, we will take the wattmeter reading to be the core losses or the iron losses, which include the hysteresis loss and eddy current loss of the machine. Now this is the circuit for the machine. This is the circuit arrangement, experimental arrangement for doing the open circuit test. So which winding is open circuited? The HV winding is open circuited, and the experiment is done on the LV side. Okay, so what we are doing is that here we are applying the rated voltage. Okay, we are applying the rated voltage, and the rated voltage is monitored by means of this voltmeter. And when rated voltage is applied, here you have a wattmeter which reads W0, and here you have an ammeter which reads I0. So I0, the no load current will be flowing through the primary, and there will not be any current flow through the secondary, because the secondary is open circuited. HV winding is open circuited, and the experiment is done on the low voltage side. So we will connect an voltmeter, we will connect an ammeter in series, and we will also connect a wattmeter. So what are the readings that we get? We will get the voltmeter reading V1, and then we will get the wattmeter reading W0, and we will get the ammeter reading I0. Okay, so we will get V1, W0 and I0, and this is the equivalent circuit representation of the shunt branch parameters, and we will see how these parameters will be obtained. Okay, so from this experiment we will actually get three readings, a reading of V1, a reading of W0, and then a reading of I0. So with this experiments, with these values we are going to find the values of V1. Actually we directly go to V1. Okay, we directly go to V1 because the voltmeter reading will be V1, and then the ammeter reading will be I0. Okay, so we will have to find the values of IM, IW, R0 and X0. So that we are going to find out. Now the wattmeter reading is what is called W0. Ammeter reading is I0, and the voltmeter reading is V1. So I have already wrote that the voltmeter reading is V1, the wattmeter reading is W0, and the current is no load current is I0. So it is W0, I0 and V1. So what is the total power W0? W0 is equal to V1 I0 cos phi 0. V1 I0 cos phi 0. Okay. So from this we can find the value of cos phi 0. It is W0 divided by V1 I0. So cos phi 0 becomes equal to W0 divided by V1 I0. So from this we have obtained the value of cos phi 0, and when you obtain cos inverse of phi 0, cos inverse of theta, then you will be getting phi 0. Okay, so from this we will obtain the value of phi 0. Okay, and from the theoretical equation we know what is IW and IM. What is IM? IM is I0 sin phi 0, and IW is I0 cos phi 0. We have the value of I0, and then we have the value of phi 0. So we will be able to find I0 sin phi 0, which is IM, and I0 cos phi 0, which is IW. Okay. Now IW is the current which passes through R0, and IM is the current which passes through X0. and this is a parallel combination, and what is voltage across it? Voltage across it is V1. So we know the current and we know the voltage. So we will be able to find out the value of R0 and X0. So what is R0? R0 is voltage divided by current passing through the element, and X0 is equal to voltage V1 divided by current passing through the element. So now we have obtained the values of, we already had values of V1 and I0, and now we have obtained the values of IW, IM, R0 and X0. So now the equivalent circuit is complete because we now know the values of IW, IM, R0 and X0. Okay, V1 is the input voltage and I0 is the no load current passing into the transformer. So from open circuit test we have completed the shunt branch parameters of the equivalent circuit. So these are the equations. You have to take down these equations and put it in the box. Now we are going into the next test, which is short circuit test or impedance test of the transformer. So this test is conducted to determine R01 or R02, X01 or X02, because it depends on which side you are referring. Okay, so if you are referring your secondary to the primary, then it becomes R01, X01. And if you are referring your primary to the secondary, then it becomes R02, X02. And these things you already know. So that is why I am just making you brush up these things and going with the new things that is coming under the experiment. So the full load copper loss of the transformer will be obtained in this test. So in the last test, which is OC test, we obtained the core losses, the no load core losses of the machine, which was W0, which was equal to V1 I0 cos Y0. So you must have all these equations sequentially in your mind. Even without our textbook or the notebook, we must be able to remember all these things. So in this short circuit test, usually I have already told you that the low voltage winding is short circuited. Okay, the low voltage winding is short circuited by a thick conductor because it is already having thick conductors of winding, and a variable low voltage is applied to the primary. Okay, and it is shown in the figure, and after going through the literature I will go into the figure. Now the low input voltage gradually raised until the voltage Vs